Very, very warm good evening on this Saturday evening. This is Arunava Chaudhuri. It is the 6th of December 2025. As I said, it's a Saturday. Welcome back to my channel, Arunfoot. My name is Arunava Chaudhuri. And as always, at the start, sometimes forget it, but today I'll say it. If you like the conversation, if you like what we're speaking about, do leave a like behind. Share it with other people to join us in our conversation. Let's get a few more viewpoints in. And also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We today, at this moment in time, as I speak to you live, stand at 3,518 subscribers. Thank you very much, everybody. And yeah, till the end of the year, 25 days to go. The aim was to reach 4,000 subscribers. So if we can still do that, great. And watch the short videos. I did some things. The ISL Club Step Up, Push AIFF to Act. The latest video, watch it, where I put down my views on what I think, what is important to speak about in regard to the situation of our clubs, in regard to where we stand at this moment in time. It's a very tricky scenario for the clubs. And the question that has been there and is there is, will there be an Indian Super League this season? Will there be an I-League this season? Because the AIFF looks to be in a very chaotic state, to put it nicely. They don't seem to know where they stand. And that's something which makes me very, very worried, because I think the clubs in their letter dated yesterday, yeah, let's wait and see where it goes. मैं पहले आ गया, says Ashish. कैसे हो आप? Ashish, I'm doing good overall, doing fine. This Indian football scenario is very disturbing, to say the least. But ये है Indian football, ये है Indian football का reality. So we have to live with that. Sadly, you and I. So therefore, that's that. AFF Circus, Kalyan Joker. Ashish, if the AIFF was a circus, at least something would be happening, right? I mean, the problem is with the AIFF, in my opinion, that circus bhi nahi hai. It is nothing, right? It is jo ho raha hai, and dikhta hai kya hota hai, and nothing more, nothing less. And that is, I think, the very disturbing scenario where we are at this moment. At where does the AIFF stand, and what can the AIFF, what does the AIFF need to do, what needs to happen? And then we see, and I've used this graphic, the captains or the players invited for this match, and Sal Crespo and Bryson Fernandez with Bino George, who's going to stand in for Oscar Bruzon due to his red card in the last game, and Manolo Marquez. And therefore I said Super Cup final, and then what is the then? Because what I've heard from a lot of people, they don't know what's going to happen. A lot of people are staring at a potential shutdown of clubs, franchisees by the end of the year. So that's going to be very interesting to see. Share your opinion on Bengal Super League, please. Can it help grassroots Bengal? Too early to say. Uh, this is not the first attempt of a Bengal Super League or of a Bengal League. So therefore, for me, I hope it works. But there are already a lot of red flags, in my opinion, which are there. And I think also the Bengal Super League needs to look at the ISL, needs to look at the Super League Kerala as well. What have they done right? What have they done wrong? And then, take the lessons. And Bengal is very difficult. I've worked on a project in 2013 to try and set up a state league in Bengal. This was pre-ISL days. Had a good idea, good approach, but the league never saw the day of light. And therefore, I know how difficult it is. So therefore, let's wait and see where we go. Hey, X9P, no problem. So it's great to attend your daily live video. Days looks incredibly with your discussion video. Thanks, X9P. Thanks a lot. Good to see you, not only you, but the others as well. And again, I do this for myself, for you to talk about it, because, sometimes these days I feel I'm exhausted when I talk about Indian football, because it has so much of stuff happening at the moment, which is bad, yeah, it is very, very disturbing. वर्ल्ड कप ड्रॉ पर बोलो हिंदी में बोलो माय इंग्लिश इज वीक. आशीष, वर्ल्ड कप ड्रॉ, क्या बोलना है ड्रॉ के बारे में? इट वाज यस्टरडे अ ह्यूज शो. वो पहले बोलना है, आई थिंक, राइट? It was a huge show in Washington. पहले शो था. It was about politics भी था. Less, it was more show, entertainment and politics than it football के बारे में थे. Purely draw था. उसके बारे में तो बोलना चाहिए, but इतने इतने कम, let's say, फोकस फुटबॉल के है. जो ड्रॉ था उधर में एक फुटबॉल, अमेरिकन फुटबॉल सुपरस्टार, राइट, एक बास्केटबॉल सुपरस्टार, फॉर्मर लेजेंड, एक बेसबॉल का सुपरस्टार, एक आइस हॉकी स्टार को डाल दिया. सो वो पहले है. एंड टू मी, ड्रॉ ठीक ठाक हुआ, बट 40 टीम्स का कंपटीशन हो उसके लिए इतने इतने complex, complicated group is not there. And yeah, देखना है जो क्या होना है, नहीं होना है. Happy at least 13 club together, Interkashi also. Yeah, and it disappoints me that, um, that East Bengal sort of is saying, oh, let the AIFF organize it. And it shows me the complete lack of understanding at East Bengal. And yeah, I let's see. The letter is good. Again, they're going to the Supreme Court. All is nice, and so therefore, let's see what happens if there is some action. Because let's see. Yes, in 2012, this time was same league. So you were in Premier League Bengal. No, it was not the Premier League Bengal. That was a CMG product. I wasn't involved in that. There was a league which was planned in work. We did it in the background, and nothing ever came out. We actually did it calm and quietly in the background, and we worked on a league for Bengal. A 6-team Bengal state league was planned, but yeah, there were certain funding issues and other issues, and that's why the potential investors pulled the plug. Hey, Ochut, welcome back. Germany seems to have an easy group unless an upset happens like Korea Republic. Easy group is a little too, too much of speaking about it, because Ivory Coast, Ecuador are not easy, and Curacao, Dick Advocat as coach, is a Dutch team. But again, they could have gotten a tougher group than that. So from that perspective, yes. But let's wait and see. I think if Germany wants to do something in this tournament, wants to reach far in the tournament, then they would need to win this group. But again, what I've seen, it looks like that in the pre-quarters or in the quarters, they would have to face France or Brazil, or so therefore, let's wait and see. But if Germany wants to win it, which I think they can, let's see what happens. Capri Sports, bit fired up, Lawyer writes, is this good partner? Nadeem, I've spoken to a few people who know a little bit about them. Capri Sports, as such, has no background, so to say, in football. Yes, they own UP Warriors in the WPL in cricket. So they do something in women's football. But again, and they also own the Sharjah Warriors, Rajasthan Warriors in Ultimate Kho and Bengal Warriors in Pro Kabaddi. They own Rudra FC in Mumbai, which they've renamed to Warriors FC in the Mumbai Women's Premier League. Aditi Chauhan is linked to them. I'm not sure if they have the bandwidth and the commercial understanding of how to push this product, because the product needs to be pushed with all its problems. And do they understand? My understanding was from the last bidding that a lot of companies didn't realize how difficult it is to try and push the commercial rights of Indian football, because you have to invest a lot to organize the league. That's something which is not very clearly defined in these documents, from what I understand. Uzbekistan, same ranking. India 2019 today will play Portugal today. Hats off to Uzbekistan Football Federation player coach. 9XP, do not do this comparisons, because I've always said the FIFA rankings are not the true reflections of how good or how bad a team is, right? It is, to me, very, very clear, if I'm being very honest, that, yeah, that uh, we were not as good as Uzbekistan on one side, and Uzbekistan wasn't as bad as we were, or as bad as us. So they were always better than us, and that is something which is a concern to me, or was and is a concern to me, and we have to be realistic and honest about that. So these ranking comparisons makes no sense, right? Did anyone attend today's iLeague pre-bid meeting? Nadeem, I so far have heard nothing. I've asked a couple of, uh, you know, you know. So yeah, let's see, what we hear. But I've heard nothing. Again, the rights are relatively cheap, compared to the ISL. So therefore, I think there is a certain level of interest, but I have not heard anything so far in regard to the I League, because also there's the point that people have now understood. To get the rights, to buy the rights is one thing, um, you know, um, but then you're the commercial partner. You have to raise the money. Do you find any sponsor? You have to find a broadcast in the I League sense, a broadcaster and an OTT platform. I League 2, I League 3, you can stay in an OTT or streaming platform. That's fine. That costs itself also. So therefore, that's something which is, you know, football is not, FIFA is not a football federation anymore. Like, seriously, what is even a FIFA peace prize? Newton Chacha, it is politics, right? Sports, it has become very, very politicized over the last, I don't know, not last, it always has been, right? You have to always differentiate in sports the political arena. Um, so therefore, for me, again, if FIFA wants to host the World Cup in the US, they will have to do certain things that they don't want to do, right? So that's the reality. The same thing happened in Qatar. The same thing happened in Russia. Um, yeah. So therefore, these are the realities. This is not Brazil. This is not South Africa. This is not Germany. This is not Korea, Japan. This is not France. We can go back even the USA '94. This is a different world today. Grouper Bolo World Cup. Ashish, World Cup groups. Yeah. Which is for you the toughest group so far? Would be my question to all of you. Um, I have a feeling that the France group with Senegal and Norway could be my pick of the groups so far. If you ask me, um, I would say Group I, depending also who comes through from the. In general, I think to me it is the toughest. I don't know. Um, yeah, and some of the others we will have to figure out. And pathway two, of course, Bolivia, Suriname, and Iraq awaits. So not sure what to say, because I normally would say Bolivia is stronger. Um, but yeah, therefore, for me, if Bolivia or Suriname adds to that group, that group gets even stronger. But France, Norway, Mbappe versus Holland, I think it could be worse than something else. So that would be the one. And then other groups, yeah, who do you want to talk about? I spoke a little earlier about Germany, Curacao, Ivory Coast, Ecuador. Looks certainly doable, should be doable. But again, Ecuador, one of the toughest defensive teams in South America at the moment. Ivory Coast, African Cup of Nations champions. So that's one. Um, I thought potentially Group L could be interesting. England, Croatia, Ghana, Panama. Panama, I guess, the weakest, but Croatia can trouble Thomas Tuchel in England. And Ghana, Otto Addo, former Borussia Dortmund player. Um, that looks interesting as well. So those two would be mine. Um, yeah. So let's wait and see who qualifies in March. Just ask if you have a child. If it's I don't have a child. 9p. Looks like Capri Sports. It's a genuine partner, but do they understand? Does the genuine partner understand what they themselves are getting into? That would be my question. XYP. Ah, Kumar. When do you think will ISL start, or will it at all start this season? Start at all this season? What should at the moment? I've said this now for 2 months. It's a 1% chance of the ISL happening, and nothing has changed. You see, you realize that the level that we are in, you know, and you know, uh, so therefore, let's wait and see where we go, right? And it's a very the clubs are trying to go out of the way to do things now because they realize if they don't do it, nothing will happen, and therefore they are now under quite a bit of pressure to try and do something. In 2018, was playing Senegal, Uruguay, etc. Says Nadeem. From your point of view, do you think that clubs should have done these uniting a little much earlier? They should have done it a little earlier, right? Yes, Renal. I've said this. What? Um, Over a year ago. The ISL clubs, informally have been talking a long time. And, you know, so to me, um, to come together and try and work together, that is what I think is the main thing here. Um, you know, and to me, that's a problem, um, which is crazy to say, but um, this coming together might be a little late. The question is also, will they allow it? There are certain people who are, trying to create problems, and so for me, the question is, does this all work, right? If tomorrow decision not taken regarding ISL, end of ISL near already in 8th December contract is listen, it's nothing is happening. Nothing is happening before the 8th of December. The question is, thank the Supreme Court, thank the AIFF, to some extent, even thank the government of India, but thank the people who've taken the AIFF to court. Um, and so therefore, we are where we are. And other open teams in World Cup qualify final. Yeah, Nadeem, Uzbekistan has been the underachievers of Asian football, right? Since they joined the AFC in the 90s. So to compare us with them is, that's the problem. Is running a football club always risky? Like, will it be filled with losses rather than profits? In an Indian context, yes. It's not even risky. In India, you're going to lose money, right? To me, to me, that is a given. In Indian context, there is no entity which can say tomorrow, uh, you know, um, that's going to be the situation. US should never host again. Newton Chacha, let's not even get into that discussion. Who can host, who should not host? Then we maybe, we go back to Qatar. Should we talk about Saudi Arabia? We have to then talk about Russia in 2018. Let's not get into it. Who should be hosting and not hosting? Enough, sir. Will ISL 2025 happen? Generally, in 2025, nothing is happening. If you're lucky, you will have a little bit of a season um, next year, maybe a half season, a quarter season. I don't even know. And but at the moment, as I've said, it was a 1% chance over the last couple of months, given the circumstances, which a lot of people. I don't even know. Again, am I surrounded by people who are not intelligent enough, or do they don't have the foresight to understand that this kind of a situation might arise? It's serious, yeah, and you know, so that's right. Crazy. Uzbekistan are always an Asian power. Like, I think they played Asian Cup semis, whereas we haven't passed group. They are of ex-USSR, so they have the cultural system, etc. there. Renal, yeah, they've been since the 90s. Again, as I said, they've been underachievers, right? For me, Japan, Netherlands, Algeria, and whoever wins Sweden, Ukraine, Poland, Albania. Yeah, sounds like it. Again, um, think about Sweden with Gyökeres and Alexander Isak with strikers, Lewandowski in there, Ukraine in there, Albania also with a decent team. But yeah, I don't rate the Netherlands so high, to be very honest. Okay, I might be wrong. Japan, and Algeria also. Therefore, I don't. It could be a very even group, but I wouldn't rate it as a strong group. Yes, Uzbekistan always far better than India, but I mean also that India rank reached 142. Yeah, I always said, in the last couple of years, said I think we are about 120, 140, maybe 125, 145. So 142 is on the lower spectrum of where we should be. So yeah, X9P, yes. England and France group seem tough. Yes, Ocho, to me, those two look the toughest. Tada, what will happen after 8th December, 11:59 p.m.? Like, what might be immediate reflection taking place? Nothing, Shivam. On the 9th, nothing is going to happen. The day will start just normally. Um, the question is for the AIFF, how can they run the rest of the season? A lot of people have said that the money's there and there's no problem. And if that was the case, if the AIFF had enough finances in there, why? And then my simple question: why are we playing? You know, uh, a shortened IWL? Why are we playing IWL into 20-day windows? Why isn't the AIFF capable and in a position to organize proper tours? That to me is a sign. Why wasn't I League 3, I League 2 played? All of those things are signs to me that they have financial issues. And the question is, again, how will the AIFF run its system? Because if someone gives them 6 crores to run the I League, 3 crores to run the IWL, very, very nice. The crazy part is that the IWL tender now and the IWL starts on the 20th. Right? So, yeah. So let's see. AIFF don't care anymore. I don't know if I wouldn't say that. That is not true. They are just they're just clueless, right? So um, let's see. I don't think the Asset saga is not. I do not think the Asset saga is not going to end soon by seeing Kalyan Chaudhary in the FF. Why cannot Asset clubs bribe the executive to overthrow Kalyan Chaudhary? Kumar, yeah, nothing to say if you're gonna suggest these kind of things. South Africa 2010 and Brazil 2014 kind of best in recent history in terms of host nations, according to me. No, Shivan. Again, I'm biased. 2006 Germany. Uh, None of the World Cups in the last 30 years most probably get close to what Germany was 2006. By far the best World Cup. And ask people who've been to World Cups, they will tell you that. Again, I most people will say I'll be biased, but again, what I saw in 2006 here in Germany, I've never seen again in anywhere in a football context. Messi versus Ronaldo and Brazil versus England both qualify the group will be hell of a cracker. Yeah, it seems like that is what fans think, but I think I don't know. I think the cracker would be France versus Norway, Mbappe versus Holland, and then all the other players involved in that. Those match and England versus Croatia in the group stage. I think those two matches will be more important. Um, it's like the Messi hype, right? You guys are still in it. It's like tonight, Inter Miami with Lionel Messi playing against Vancouver Whitecaps with Thomas Müller and a certain Indian origin player, Jeevan Badwal. So therefore, these are the kind of things which are there. So therefore, yeah, we'll take it as it is. How football club works, my district not have a football club is like any person wants to own a football club. How it works is government provided stadium. Government provides you nothing. X9P government provides you nothing. You can either rent a facility from the government or from a private entity, and then anyone theoretically can set up a club, and then you have to register with your district or city football association, right? If you're in a more rural area, you'll have a district football association. If you're more in a city area, you will most probably have a city association. Messi playing, yeah, most likely. I seen a video. The video was India Pakistan kids saying that if I were born in places like Spain or Portugal, they would easily become a world class player. But in reality, it's 1 in 1,000, right? No, well, it's not even 1 in 1,000. It's 1 in 1 million, maybe one in 10 million kids make it. And this whole thing, if I was born here or there, this is all rubbish. Sorry. If you are, it doesn't matter where you're born. If you're again, and this is one point. If you're born, I was talking to someone earlier this week who works for talents in Ghana, and that person explained to me that they go to obscure rural places in Ghana and have found gems of football players. Yeah. Uh, so this is so these are realities, and yeah. So that's the problem, no? And and those are the things. So therefore, it is kids don't realize how much work it is to become a professional footballer anywhere in the world, right? And this whole Messi, Ronaldo, this, that, everything. Oh, India, we don't get chances. India is this, India is that. Listen, if you are an exceptional talent with all the problems that the Indian system has, with all, corruption, nepotism, favoritism, bribery, whatever, blah, 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 blah. If you are an exceptional talent, the system will not stop you. The system will not stop you because we are longing for someone. Because all these people who've been part of your development chain will say, "Oh, I was part of that XYZ player becoming." Yeah. And that's the reality of things, right? That's where we stand. No, no. One in a thousand doesn't make it. One in a thousand. Renal, we'll have millions of professional players. One in a million is also even positive. I would say, I don't even know what the number is. One in a million would be tight. I think one in 10 million maybe is a real thing. Right. We have football and the Bundesliga matches are over. Let me quickly go through them. What do we have today? I was just watching Stuttgart Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich went 5-0. Wolfsburg Union Berlin 3-1. Augsburg Bayer Leverkusen 2-0. Wow, that's a surprise. Heidenheim scored a late winner against Freiburg 2-1. Cologne St. Pauli is 1-1 in the end. And then Leipzig Eintracht Frankfurt will be the late kickoff. And in the Premier League, what do we have? Early kickoff. Arsenal lost. So the so-called superb Arsenal lost at Aston Villa. Very impressive. Bournemouth, Chelsea still goalless. Everton 3-0 against Nottingham Forest. Man City would be second if they win 3-0, and they're winning 3-0 against Sunderland. Newcastle 2-0 against Burnley, and Tottenham Hotspurs leading 2-0 in a London derby against Brentford. And the late kickoff, Leeds versus Liverpool. Interesting. Can Daniel Farke and his team beat another biggie of the Premier League? Indian fans are thinking the New Zealand's free 3 points for them. Anibal, again, it's you'll have all of this. There are no free points in the World Cup. If 8 December nothing happened, I don't think ISL will not happen. If it's ISL start, only condition may look like AIFF and club both can do league if AIFF can arrange OTT and TV broadcast. AIFF can arrange nothing. Who will listen to the AIFF and say, listen, can you do TV? TV will say, pay me XYZ. Right? You know? So it is not so easy. Right? You know. So therefore, it is a complex process. Therefore, also the clubs asking for the process to be finished by the end of the year. We have everything that we have, and then you've got Christmas, we've got this, we've got that, we've got whatever, blah, blah, blah. Not easy. That I see a force majeure taking place soon from the club's point of view just before January, if everything does not sort out. Shivam, yes. Yes. We will have a force majeure situation in the coming weeks and see how many players have spoken out, DC and foreigners, and let's see where we go. Qatar by far the best experience for me, maybe because our experience in Qatar, a small country where you see all fans from across in a single space. You watch a match in a metro, see fans of other countries and all nationalities together. Nadeem, it had his experience, but again, I always say why 2006 was so good for me because I was traveling a whole month across Germany. So what you saw in one space, I saw in a whole country. And I saw things in this country which I haven't seen before and haven't seen after. In regard to friendliness, welcoming, Germany was on a different level. Who is winning the cup tomorrow, East Bengal or FC Goa? Augusto, good question. I would have said after looking at the semifinals, and that's the weird one, right? East Bengal would be my favorite going into tomorrow because FC Goa didn't look good against Mumbai City. I thought Mumbai City was better, and I think Mumbai City should have won. Right? Two mistakes. The first one, sadly, Tiri not being able to connect to the ball, and second one from Purba, Chante missing the penalty. So it is on Mumbai City. They can only blame themselves for not winning that game. But to me, tomorrow, East Bengal go as favorites into the final, looking at the semi-finals. But again, at the moment, with lack of match time, this, that, and everything, to predict something in Indian football Uh, let's see where it goes. There is no market for football here. Clubs can forget about profit. Only people with deep pockets and right attention can help. Tobo, that's true. But again, if you have the right leadership also with the commercial partner, then you can maybe build something. That is very important. Hi, Akash. Good evening. Anavada, do you think anytime soon Kalyan Chauba will resign? Any better idea than I give the idea it was immoral? Think about current scenario of Indian football. Kumar, it is not an idea, right? If immoral or whatever, unethical, doesn't matter, right? And you're asking the question if Kalyan Chauba will resign. Answer it yourself. He won't. He has had enough time in the last 3 years to resign. He should have resigned after 3 to 6 months. If he said, you know what, guys, it's time to move aside. He didn't do it. Yeah. And the exco will not remove him. And the general body, again, hasn't removed him and most probably will also not remove him. The system will not stop the talent, but where will they get a platform? The system don't do its core thing correctly. If they do, then the system gives platform to useless players. Orko, yes and no. I think if there is an exceptional talent in an Indian ecosystem, that talent will stand out. So therefore, you know, yeah, that's why if there is an exceptional talent and he is or she is of the right age, he or she will break through. Someone or the other who's smart enough will recognize that talent and will give that kid a chance. Indian people should stop giving excuse. Black people with poverty who can't buy shoes reach to topmost European club. Stop giving excuse. X9P, very well said. Very, very true. Right? Right. Over 30 minutes. Quick reminder, if you like what we're talking about, if you like what this conversation is about, do leave a like behind, share it, and subscribe to the channel. 8 likes so far. I think we can do better. And we stand at 3,520. 3,520. Thank you very much, everyone who have subscribed and watch the content of the videos that I try and make. Did something today on the ISL clubs and their letter and the push, so to say, on the AIFF, which I found very, very good. And yeah, let's wait and see if and what they can do. So thanks a lot as always. Was watching a replay of the UCL game between Chelsea and Barcelona. Chelsea doesn't have a shirt sponsor. Yeah, Uchut? Yeah, they don't. They American ownership, a lot of changes, a lot of uncertainty. That's the problem. New Zealand 2010 was unbeaten in a group of Paraguay, Italy, and Slovakia. Almost got out of the group. Nadeem, that's why this big team, small team in a World Cup, you know, yeah, right. And also, why are performance in ACL so bad? Is it concerning? No, generally, it is the level where we are. I mean, honestly, if you thought that FC Goa is going to pull off something in this group, Istiklal was the only team maybe at home. Again, the last match on Christmas Eve. Let's see what they do on the 21st. Therefore, for me, I'm not surprised. Sadly, Monbagan, we didn't see an against other teams, but they lost against Ahal FK at home, right? So what to expect? That's the standard, right? And we don't have a season. That's why we're not good enough. The system fails in scouting the good players they think is good enough when they find someone overage or above average. Orko, I know what you mean in the sense of that they pick players who could have an immediate impact. And I think that's a big problem. So my point here is if there is an exceptional talent, as I say, which is visible, and not all scouts are bad, not all clubs are bad, that player will find a way, right? So this is what my point is. Kalyan should resign. His political and administrative career is dead. Gosh, nice said, but he won't do it. He hasn't done it, and he will not do it. That's the reality. Jeevan Badwal is definitely making it to the Canada World Cup squad. Sure, let's wait and see. He looks good. He looks strong. He's been impressive in my opinion. And yeah, these Aussies, New Zealanders are mentality monsters. They can grind out results. Yeah, that's true. Plus, he's been expected positive verdict in Anwar. Ali case with the backdoor entry, no idea. Nadeem, I've given up on this. On these committees of the AIFF because the Anwar Ali case is an open shut case, very very simple. I said it on day one. Um, Anwar Ali gets a suspension at least 4 months, 6 months, gets a fine. East Bengal, Delhi FC get a 2 window transfer ban, substantial fine in crores, matter closed. Simple, very, very simple case. And this case has still not been decided. So take it as it is. And of course, individuals could be also, you know, need to look at. It could be Nituda, it could be Ranjit, it could be others who were involved in all of this. And if there was also some sort of weird backdoor deal with Mohun Bagan Supergiant, that could have then been looked at afterwards. So there's a lot of people who, because of that deal, should have gotten in trouble. None have, and now they're still celebrating, and the player is playing again. If you've done something wrong, it doesn't matter who you are. You should get your punishment, and no one is getting a punishment for this. Is the domestic success of women's East Bengal side the lack of domestic confidence and actual scouting and team development? Akash, your talent pool is quite limited, right? And the success of East Bengal, yes, Anthony Andrews, I think, is the best coach in the women's game, right? That's one reason. But again, if you get most of the best players that India have, and then you bring in some quality foreigners, you don't need to do anything more. You're sorted. That's that quality level, you know. Gopit Singh Sandhu is training with Sydney FC currently. Is he thinking of a move abroad? Shivam, no. He's just keeping himself fit. Like he did in the summer. He went to Stabæk, back to Norway. Now he's gone to somewhere where training is and where it's warm. And you have to remember his wife is an Indian origin woman from Australia. So I guess, yeah, that would be the reason. Bro, when will the monsoon season end in Indian football? Newton Chacha, it's not ending anytime soon. This your so-called monsoon season might continue till next summer, in the worst case. Will our under 7 men's side and women's senior qualify for World Cup? Akash, let's wait and see. If I've seen our women um, recently, if Crispin doesn't make changes and bring back some of the experienced players, I find it very difficult. That's one. And on the other side, on the under 17 boys, let's be very, very clear. We were in the weakest group of all the qualifiers, right? And we qualified, period. Now we have to see who we face in the group stage and how the AIFF prepares. The women's preparation is already a mess, right? Training in Dubai and playing in Dubai against club sides. Wow. Even Bangladesh is doing a better job on that. And therefore, I have no expectations. So to mention the World Cup, Akash, my request to all Indian football fans is do not mention the World Cup in connection with Indian football, be it with the women's, be it under 20s, under 17s, or be it with the under 17 boys. If we make it, let's celebrate, let's party. But if we don't, you know, it shouldn't be that, oh, we should be disappointed because that's the reality. So therefore, who do you think will be the most suitable for Kalyan Chowbe's job? Ajin, the point to me is there are certain people that I think and believe and feel could be AIFF president. Let's be honest about it. But I have said this multiple times on this channel that I don't want to talk about the names because I talk to people and I don't want to sort of jeopardize their chances, and therefore better for me not to speak about it. So your prediction of tomorrow's final, Utkarsh, if FC Goa plays like they played against Mumbai City, I don't see them winning. I think, and looking at the way FC Goa against City, I think East Bengal are favourites in my opinion. I'm Vijay and Bachung were exceptional, and then Sunil, others, with due respect, are quite a few yards behind. Which would 100%. But I would go to the extent of saying, there are two sides to the story. On one side, you have I'm Vijay. I've said this X number of times over the last few years. An exceptional footballer, talent-wise, technically. Baichung and Sunil worked their way to where they are or were. Bhutia and Sunil, yes, Bhutia got opportunities early on and was seen and this and that, everything, was the poster boy in the late 90s and early 2000s. Sunil had to go work harder, got success a little later in his career, but all of them were exceptional. And the rest of them, where I would have said over the last 10 years, who could have taken it. My current example is Lalinzwala Changte. Changte, yeah, is most probably the best of that current mid-level age lot. Technically, even character-wise, a good footballer, good human being. But inconsistencies are a problem. And even when he has good matches, he has got two good matches, and now he's got like 4 or 5 bad matches, or he's got one good match. And this is something which becomes a problem, in my opinion. That's the problem, and the others are not even of that level or of that potential. The entire AIFF institution, including Executive Committee, are absolutely incompetent. Yeah, Akash, good summary. Good evening, Siddharth. Here there were protests at Mohun Bagan Athletic Club AGM regarding ACL no-show, which was good. The point is that I've said to quite a few Mohun Bagan fans over the last 15, 16 months, um, it is on your club, right? Again, and some of them, or even here in our group talking with us, have said, no, 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 this is SG, it is not AC. AC has allowed it, no? Right? And they also need to answer questions. And they're not the club officials in Kolkata are not answerable to anyone. They don't care. They don't the fan who they talk about is, in my opinion, the weakest link in the setup. Because honestly, the clubs do not care about the fans. They say that. But to me, saying that and doing something about it are two different set of things. Right? That's always a danger I see with these realities of what has happened or what is happening. Anand sir, that happened between Karancham and East Bengal. Say they took a complete U-turn for AIFF while all other clubs are not. During Chacha, there was a meeting in Kolkata before the big meeting on the 3rd between East Bengal and Mohammedan. Mohun Bagan pulled out. We still don't know why. Uh, um, um, and East Bengal, I think, are um, I still don't. Again, also the Anwar Ali thing is also something that is there in the background. So let's see what happens. Big team, small team. Last World Cup's excitement was the Germany, Spain, Japan, Costa Rica group on final day. Once Costa Rica and Japan were going through, then it went back and forth. Yeah, Nadeem. But again, what my biggest thing about the last World Cup was, just let me come to bottom, was that Japan scored a goal and VR allowed it, and the ball was outside, right? And to me, um, we talk about India and football and referees and all that stuff. I say, hey, with the VR or without VR, I go back also last week, Arsenal Bayern, foul on Manu Neuer, not given. So I'll give you honest. Is this when they have the European quality people hype him is really good enough? I'm just asking, no disrespect to Sunil Chetri. X9P, your simple answer is that when he went to Sporting Lisbon said to Sunil or questioned Sunil as a professional footballer. And I think that should be your answer to that question. Um, you know, so um, so to me, Sunil could play in Europe, but again, I think he would have needed time at the right club. But going to a Sporting Lisbon, again, Eric Dyer, for example, one of his teammates at the time, Bruma and others, he's not going to break through. So at the right club, he could have, but yeah, Sunil, sadly, I would have loved Sunil to make it, but I would not say that those were the right clubs, the right teams to go to. What is good for us? Doing good, reaching semifinals in ACL 3 or getting railed in ACL 2? Akash, I would say ACL 3. I think it makes sense to play the AFC Challenge League, establish yourself there, quarterfinals, semifinals, maybe even final, and then think about ACL 2. If I see Al Nassr against Goa, if I see Mumbai City against Al Hilal, even in the old, full Champions League, Sorry, we're not part of that league. Again, even with our best teams. So, which player whose origin you're saying his name in starting a video? Jeevan Badwal from Vancouver Whitecaps. Gonna play tonight in 2.5 hours against for Whitecaps against Inter Miami. So, what's your thoughts on Shan Hunder's recent statement? Siddharth, I've known Shan. I'm the one who helped Shan originally to get in touch with the AIFF and gave him a platform via my channel. I want Shan Hundal to play for us. I've said that. I'll say that openly. Not a problem with that. Um, so therefore, let's wait and see. He's willing. Again, he's changed opinion. He's now willing to come to India and play in India. Let's see what happens. What do you want to respect us in Asia after tomorrow's game? In short, who do you want to win? Who do you want to represent? Sorry, Orko, let me start. Who do you want to represent us in Asia after tomorrow's game? In short, who do you want to win? Orko, um, uh, for me, I am family-wise traditionally, even though some East Bengal fans say, don't like what I say, you know, um, I would support East Bengal tomorrow. I would like East Bengal to win. But I also know that if East Bengal win tomorrow, what kind of social media BS will be facing again. That's the downside of this and that and everything. Um, FC Goa is always good. But my question, Orko, which no one can answer, um, if we don't have a league, do we keep our Super Cup ACL2 qualifying slot? Just asking. So maybe that question doesn't arise. There were talks of clubs should own the league. Does that mean no need of FSL anymore, or is it something else? Will it help? Turbo, clubs should own the league means clubs should own the league with AIFF and a commercial partner. The clubs are so desperate at this stage that they want the league to happen, that they're willing up to do something that they 6-7 months ago would have said no, or not 6-7 months, let's say 9 months, 10 months ago would have said no, we don't want to. When uh, um, when they when FSL came around with that idea late last year, they were not interested because they wanted Reliance FSL to do everything for them, as they've done. So let's see. It's an option, you know. So um, I have a concern about this Indian passport to OCI players. What if the players don't perform as per expectations? What will happen to the players? Akash, they will have an Indian passport and then they will have to figure their own careers out. Akash, that happens around the world. Not every, this is our other problem, right? We are hyping players. Oh, every Indian player who's going abroad is somewhat of a messiah. Oh, every Indian, sorry, every Indian player who's going abroad, playing here, there, wherever, brilliant, whatever, third, fourth division here, there, every origin player. No, not everyone. We have to pick the cream, and that's my problem with the national team and national team department with the coaching staff. Do they have the understanding and the bandwidth to say, okay, this could be a good player for us, that could be a good player? Because I'm already seeing some Indian origin players that they're thinking of coming up, you know, and that's the thing. Talent pool should be 1,000 players all over India and use 1723. That is a talent pool 50, 40, 50 only. No, talent pool of 1,000 doesn't make sense. At under 17 level, we should be looking at 10,000 plus kids at least, if not even 100,000, 200,000. For U17 men, there is a good possibility. No, Nadeem, it is not. Wait for the draw of the under 17 Asian Cup. Let's see who are going to be our three opponents. Then you can have a conversation. You guys are going to always get carried away. Oh, you know what? You have to win 2 matches and we're going to listen. We are in the state. We are in a competition as with the women's, where normally we lose all 3 matches. Come to reality. Get out of La La Land, guys. Sorry to say that. Jeevan Badwal will not play for India if he plays for professionally for Canada. X9P, he's playing in Canada. Theoretically, could be approached, but we don't have an option to get him in. What are we? Why would this kid forget the World Cup next year? Why would someone who could play for Canada play for India? right? Indonesia has made it so interesting for Dutch origin, for Danish, German origin guys to say, hey, listen, I rather want to play for India, for Indonesia than for these countries. We need to find a way to do that. I would love to see a CM level politician as head of AIFF. Yeah, maybe Akash, maybe it's good, maybe it's not. Very disappointed with women national team preparations, all age groups. Yeah, Ochut, it's a disaster. It's a disaster already, and I hope that something is done because otherwise it's gonna get worse. If you think profitability will return, how AFF president can decide who can be candidate for president? X9 appeal. There are a lot of potential people who could become candidate, will be, not be. I don't know what's gonna happen. India and the World Cup don't go hand in hand. Shivam, it does, but I would like it. No, not it does. I would like it to go hand in hand. Let's put it this way. I would like us to play World Cup at any level, but we need to be honest to ourselves at what level. Again, that we beat Thailand in the summer in the qualifiers for the AFC Women's Asian Cup. Again, Thailand, right? In these qualifiers for the under 17s, right? The level was bad. Under 23s, which we celebrate, the level was bad. Asian youth football qualifiers levels has been bad this year, whatever I've seen, even from other groups. Mamata Manji might be the best one for it, says Shivam. Is Apuya a lost talent? No. He's not a lost talent. But I think Apuya, in my opinion, from a football perspective, if I see the progress that he's made over the last year, uh, I would have said it would have been better for him to play um, at Mumbai City, right? Because at this time, City Football Group might have been able to offer him certain things which Mohun Bagan Supergiant will not be able to offer him. And I think in that setup, even though he's played a good season and Mohun Bagan is one of those things, I think his progress would have been better at Mumbai City than Mohun Bagan because they work on certain things which Mohun Bagan just doesn't care about. Who's going forward in future, Lord Rahim? I don't know, right? Our options are players like Rahim Ali, Irfan Yadwad. Some will bring Suhail Bhatt. Some will say Edmund. Some will say David. Some will, I don't even know who they'll say. Since Apoya moved to Mohun, I think he's lost in that kind of old value which he earned in Mumbai City FC. So that's I agree, and that's one of the problem. Problem is 60s, 70s supporters who want an old gen. They don't care, neither know about AFC competition. They're happy as long as they beat East Bengal. New gen supporters are aspirational, care about AFC. Akash, that clash is there, but there is, um, it is also about understanding and how much you're interested, right? And how much you're interested in continental competitions. And I feel that Indian clubs, Mohun Bagan, for example, want to play it. Mr. Goenka speaks about it. Um, but I don't know, right? VR only favors the ones who has money, more money. Newton Chacha, again, one of you, and if you see a lot of the mistakes which happen in VR, it is not about money. Um, and it is about the human element, right? So after watching Stuttgart Bayern Munich, Stuttgart equalized, and it was an automated offside line. Took a little longer, but it was without the human intervention element. The system took its time because there were three Stuttgart players who were sort of, three players looked like they're offside. And the question is who touched it? Was the guy who scored the goal, was he offside or not? And then this decision came out. It is the human element, which is a problem. The referee as a human element does mistakes. The VR as a human does mistakes. So don't come around that it's all about money. You speak like a German fan. As per VR, they take the top view and ball did not completely cross the line as an Asian team want Japan to go through this time after 3 down 16 heartbreaks in 2010, 18, 22. Nadeem, I don't speak like a German fan. Thank you very much for that. Yes, I will be always a Germany fan. There has been a proven study that it was out, right? There was a report 2 days ago here in Germany, which was an English report. So I would say would be non-biased, which said that the ball had gone out. And if you speak to the right people in Japan, they'll also say that the ball went out. So therefore, don't come me with this, you're a Germany fan and all that kind of rubbish. In your short video about ISL coming forward from today, you sounded a bit optimistic. Roshan, I have a little bit of hope because the clubs have come together. The question is, can this? My concern is, I have 13 entities plus one, right? I mean, East Bengal. If it's quite funny, I've read some of those comments where say, "Oh, if East Bengal is so much for the AIFF, maybe they should go to the I League," which was very funny. I found it. Um, but can these 13 entities really hold it together, and can they, for themselves, raise enough money? That's one to be putting into the league as seed investment. And can they convince someone to do the commercial rights? And can they convince someone to do the broadcast? And if you ask me from that perspective, then my optimism dies quite quickly. But I want to be optimistic. I want to give this a chance. I want to give us a little bit of hope. But it is very, very difficult, right? Can all the clubs of all levels sue AFF? Akash, why would they? What? Again, explain to me what is the um, what's the use? A local club cannot sue the AFF. What's the link? They could theoretically sue their district FA or their city FA or state FA. But again, if you go and sue, again in India they go to courts, which is the first problem. Why are we going to courts? Why don't we have an own? Again, they're setting up a sports tribunal. You know, uh, that's one. And the second one is, why don't we have a proper judicial system within football which looks into this matter? They will still pick a Abnit over Pereira, hypothetically speaking. No, I don't think so. Simon, if Pereira had an Indian passport, he would be picked. Abnit Bharti is being picked because he has an Indian passport, right? And someone has actually recommended him from the foreign ministry, whatever. India wants to host U17 Men's Asian Cup 2031. Roshan, I'm hearing this for the first time. I have not heard this. I don't think that India wants to or is in a position to host um, something. And I don't think AFC would give it to India at the moment. If I'm the AFC, if I'm FIFA, and you say, hey, listen, India wants to bid for a Youth World Cup or India wants to bid for an AFC Asian Cup, whatever it is, you know, I would not give it to India because we are chaos. We need to realize that this whole chaos in the All India Football Federation, Indian football, I know from friends and who know about this now at Asian level and global level. And that's a problem. And even in other sports, problems that are there. While the government wants us to host the Olympics, the government doesn't understand that all these problems in their national federations, right? National sports, the NSF as they call them. This is a huge drawback. Yes, that's what I was thinking yesterday. If league doesn't happen, then all this Super Cup win go in vain. Yeah, also that's a possibility. I think that the AFC will come down. Uh, you know, Indonesia Dutch player, yes. X9P. So if we can win 2031 Asian Cup. No. Would you, if you just think yourself, don't think about me or whoever is this. If you were an official of the Asian Football Confederation to decide on a host for 2031, given the realities of Indian football in the year 2025, would you give India the right to host? Simple question. Simple question. Would you give it to India? And the answer is no. Right? Germany's only tricky opponent in the group looks like to be Ecuador. Ivory Coast have been blunt in the attacking. Simon, I think both Ecuador and Ivory Coast are tricky opponents. Ivory Coast have quality. Ecuador defensively. So let's wait and see. Gokul. Sorry, why is it? Sorry. There it is. Nadeem says Gokulam, Karan, Shinlekin and all are signing foreigners and training for the league. Are they giving any assurance? Tabiso Brown, last season's Gokulam FC top scorer, has rejoined the squad. No, Nadeem. The I League is If the ISL topic is not sorted, if even if someone comes forward and says, "Listen, I want to pay 6 crores to buy the rights of the I League," okay, someone does that. Does that someone understand that he has to commercially bail out the system so that it can run? That he will need to put in another 15, 20 crores to run the I League? This is the problem why the whole tendering process failed. Because some people came in and looked at it and said, okay, you know what, even 37.5 crores, if you've got, I don't know, a lot of money and you think you can turn it around, you could think, okay, but then you realize, oh my God, 37.5 is just the start. I have to run the league, I have to do this, I have to do that. And suddenly your 37.5 crores is 250, maybe 300 crores. And who will come forward as sponsors? I was talking to a corporate guy um, earlier in the week who has, his company has done sponsorship in different sports. He says, Arunava, your football, I won't even touch it. I won't even think of touching it at the moment. Apuya stagnating 25 now. Hard to say, but yeah, yeah. He needs to take the next step. Apuya needs to go and take the next step. Otherwise, I think it becomes, in my opinion, problematic. Players like him, with the potential that he's had, that he's shown, Apuya needs to take the next step. And that will be interesting to see. Right, over an hour. Quick reminder: if you haven't, if you're liking the conversation, do leave a like behind and support the channel as always. 15 likes so far. Thank you very, very much. Share with other people to join our conversations or even watch our discussions afterwards. And of course, if you haven't, if you're listening, if you're liking what you're hearing, either live or afterwards, do leave a subscription behind. We're at 3,521. Thank you very much. Growing slowly. 25 days to go for the rest of the year. And I've said 4,000 would be the aim. I know it's quite a big aim, but let's see what I can do. Next week, I'll be doing a little less because I'm traveling tomorrow onwards. We're heading to India on some work. Tuesday, I'll be at the CIS Scorecard Conference, and on Wednesday, I'll be at the Sports Bar Pro Leagues Conference in Mumbai. So a little bit of work here and there, meeting a lot of people in Indian sports. So let's see what they say. Not sorry, 1 second. Achut, your question. Why doesn't it show? There it is. Why does China doesn't qualify for the Men's World Cup bearing 2002 infra finance they have? Then what is going wrong for them? Ochut, for that, what is really going wrong for China is for me very, very difficult to say because I don't follow that Chinese football. Actually, I was actually following Chinese football a little closer pre-COVID. I haven't actually kept track of it. If you look at China around 2002, their best players were playing in Europe, right? Sun Jihai was playing at City, Du Wei was playing at Everton. There's another player with Everton, I forgot. And there was Jiaji Shao playing here in Germany first, Eintracht Frankfurt, and then at Energie Cottbus. So uh, you know, and therefore for me, that's that. China spend a lot of money, but spending money doesn't mean a lot. Bob Houghton used to say they spend um, spending money is, if you're not spending it right, it's not going to work. So therefore, the point is, even if you look at Indian football, yes, you might, a lot of people say, oh, there's not enough money in the system. There is more than enough money in the system if you do the right things. Look at what is being achieved in Africa or other parts of Asia, in Africa or in South America, Central America, with much, much less money. So therefore, the money factor is a thing. China has lovely infrastructure, even some great coaches across all levels, but some of the other, they don't get it together. The best Chinese don't want to leave China. That's another thing, because they are overpaid for China. For to go to abroad, the Chinese players are overpaid. Women's qualify with even more less resources because they want to win. Orko, no, that's not the only reason. The other reason is that in the women's game across the world, the standards are not that high. The men's game um, are um, are much more competitive. So that has to be kept, again, less expenditure, yes, across the board, but the competitive level in women's football is much, much less. Think about it, that India theoretically is better than Uzbekistan in the women's game, right? We discussed Uzbekistan early on in the show today. Uzbekistan in the men's game is much, much better than India. So And it's not even a question, it's an observation. We are bad at football, except that we don't have such good European quality players. That's it. X9P, yes, at the moment we don't, you know? And hopefully that changes, but that change will take time. Predict the future of Indian League, AKX, nobody can. I cannot predict it because at the moment I don't see an easy solution. And maybe league not happening, um, as hard as it might sound, but maybe league not happening might be a good thing to happen to Indian football. I don't know. So, uh, yeah, but it's crazy to think that that is the solution to our problems, our woes at the moment. The worst move Mohan could do was go for Apuya and not let Suryavanshi get proper game time. He once used to feel our own Apuya before Apuya. Shivam, that's one. And secondly, not signing a foreign defensive midfielder, which hurt Mohun Bagan so much this year that Molina had to leave. Very simple. You're right. I think Abhishek Suryavanshi could have developed and evolved more. And look at the same thing now with Mehta being brought in. You sign Abhishek Thekcham. Abhishek is not going to get past Subashish. Abhishek Thekcham is going to have trouble. And again, he's not going to get any minute at the moment. And then you bring in Mehta. Mehta is not going to play if Tom Aldred and Alberto Rodriguez are playing. So it means he's playing right back, which means Ashish Rai and all the others who are potential right backs are all out. Jackson got destroyed in East Bengal from what he was in Karabas FC. Yeah, Shivam, it shows you these are some of the examples at the moment, uh, uh, you know, um, that, your big money move doesn't always mean, and um, is the best move, right? It just shows you. I think, you know, at Blasters, he was that impact player. He's also had injuries, and one has to be honest. And therefore, yeah, that's the reality. Yes, I accept there will be many OCI player playing different top tier and second tier and third tier, but we need to pick cream player. X, Y, and P, not the cream player. We need to pick the players who fit what we want and what we need. Cream player sounds nice, but maybe we might not even pick the cream player. We might need, in some positions, the hardworking players. But now, why this East Bengal FC supporters are supporting and against club owned league by 13 other ISL clubs? Because they don't want to play ISL, Kumar. They think that and the funny one is the AIFF is now, the East Bengal management is supporting the AIFF, even though the AIFF and FSDL and whatever is against them. So therefore, again, this is welcome to Indian football. Today you support this, tomorrow you support that. And that's the problem, right? A knowledgeable understanding of things and then taking a call or decision is a very big problem in Indian football amongst fans. Apuya could have played for a mid-division European league. No, I don't think so. Akash, he needed, again, he was at Lommel while in Belgium. He trained with them and they said you need another couple of years. And he didn't do what was needed. Now he's moving to Mohun Bagan. Now again, he would need a year or two to really try and figure out something in Europe. And I don't think, again, that's the problem. Yandanda, attacking midfielder, Shan Hundal forward, Apuya, defensive midfielder, Ryan Williams, hurting one good defender like Danny Bath, game complete. No, I think there are others as well who you could think about, and then we would see. Do you think football is getting less popular because FIFA controls it, plus they bring politics in it, like yesterday awarding Trump and all that? No. Orko, football has always been political. Um, Sports has been political. Think about it. 1980 Moscow Olympics. The Eastern Bloc doesn't take. The Western Bloc doesn't take part. 1984 Los Angeles Olympics. The Eastern Bloc doesn't take part. 1978, most probably the most controversial World Cup under the Argentinian junta. There is this whole story, and I've heard this from someone Dutch personally who was part of that squad. They say that Argentina bought the World Cup and against the Netherlands. The Netherlands were the best team in the 70s, right? So therefore, that's there. So football has always been political. Is it getting less popular? No, it's not. Hell no. You might think in Europe it is, but again, if you see on a global scale, football is more popular. A 48-team World Cup also brings in countries, which makes it interesting. Yes, two countries have failed. We've spoken about China. We're speaking always about India, but otherwise, the rest of the world, football has been growing. This is going drag along all the way till next year, September, imminent. Let's see, Simon. It is going to be interesting. because at some stage someone needs to stand up in the inside the AFF, inside the EXCO, or inside the state associations. But it's very, very difficult from what I see at the moment. Yes, TV and OTT will ask money to telecast from AFF, seeing the Indian football condition. They even get money if AFF really want to conduct league. Yeah, but what are they going to ask for? Right, that's the question. Simple question: why I League hasn't started this season? Uchut, because it is a money matter. The I League and people want it. Don't want to hear it, and but they've been subsidized by the ISL and by the money of FSDL, and that money is not there. That's why the FF. Otherwise, why didn't the FF hold the I League 3, I League 2? I League 3 would have been finished by now. I League 2 would have started, and I League would have started. So with all of that not started, um, we are where we are. We can go to courts because we know we are wrong, but we can't put our ego aside. Yeah, also that's the biggest problem. There are a lot of people who have more ego and think they know, and they don't have a clue. They are harming football and still are doing it because of their own egos. And yeah, I'm important. I did this. I did that. And like, there are so many people in this ecosystem who shouldn't be there. U7 in men's Asian Cup, it should be. Sorry, Simon. What do you mean by that? What can we do for Indian football to qualify World Cup? I see the World Cup draw and feel sad realizing how backward our country is. Um, Nived, let's not talk about the World Cup. We are so far away. We don't even qualify for the Asian Cup at the moment. The World Cup is nice to talk about, nice to think about, but we are very, very far away from a FIFA World Cup, and that's the reality. As much as I don't like it, but that's the reality of things, and we need to think about how we can stabilize. Yeah. Um, so yeah. So therefore, we are where we are. It is very complicated. It is very complex, and it is not going to get easier or better. That's where we are at this moment in time. We are in a very difficult and tricky scenario. It was 2021 Asian Cup, right? Who would give it to India, guys? Honestly, I don't think so. Mohun Bagan and East Bengal never cared for Indian football throughout the century. They didn't build the infrastructure, never involved themselves in grassroots youth development. Ajay, to say that, you're right. I agree with you. But if you tell this to East Bengal and Mohun Bagan fans, they will get very, very angry about it. And you don't realize this. And your team has always been about your first team. When I first started watching Indian football closely, East Bengal and Mohun Bagan every 2 years used to try and grab the best talent that is available from the Tata Football Academy. Right. So therefore, these are things, these are realities. Right. So therefore, for me, um, harsh, brutal, but very, very true. That's the problem, right? Odisha FC cannot play without government support. How can entities like this own the league? Also, SC Delhi, they are the most unstable entity ever. I support concept of club ownership, but how? Akash, I think SC Delhi is the one which must be thinking, why did we invest? I don't know how many crores, you know, tens of crores or maybe more than hundreds of crores to try and pay off debt. There's that, everything. Now shift the team from Hyderabad to Delhi and then realizes like, ooh, the league might not happen at all. Right? Very sad scenario. But as you say, can the clubs do it? Yes, they could, but then you need a strong commercial partner to back the clubs, right? After tomorrow's match, there is no Indian football. I should laugh or cry. Should we cry? Cry and be disappointed. Enjoy tomorrow, uh, and therefore, yeah, we have Australia, a joint bid from Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan to compete with. No way we are in a position to compete with unless they pull out. Simon, even if they pull out at the moment, even if all pull out, right? If I was the AFC, I would then go to Qatar and Saudi. Arey bhai, please, can you please organize 2031? I don't want to give it to India. India is not in a position to host such a tournament. Yes, Adrian Pereira not have Indian passport. Yes. If the clubs host their own league without AFF means no FC slot, sir, what is the point? No, Coco. If they hosted without the AFF, we're not talking about a rebel league. We're talking about a league hosted by the clubs, but it is affiliated to the AFF. So yeah. And even if, listen, AFC slot, if that is the most important thing for us, we are so bad in AFC competitions. Let's not even think about it. Maybe 2, 3, 5, 4, 5 years, we don't need to bother about it. And now domestic air travel seems to be an added problem. This won't be solved quickly, it seems. Ochut, it is a one airline problem. It's not a problem of all airlines, and there is a reason why they have orchestrated this. Yeah. So realities. I say openly, if best quality OCI player comes to play for India, I would say with 250% Indian football rise, better performance, bring more fans, and if we qualify World Cup, it will bring so fans. Yeah, but X9P, for that, things need to change. Let's see what happens. I hope you get your return ticket back to Germany soon after your work ends, given the mess domestic air travel has been. Simon, it is a mess, but again, it is a one airline mess, and I don't travel with Indigo these days. So therefore, at the moment, it looks like I'm safe. Why is it not? Sorry, I'm just there it is. Football in a centralized venue like bio bubble season could be a possibility since air travel is jacked too. No, listen, the air travel is a problem at the moment. Most probably by the end of the month, latest maybe in the next few days. Uh, so therefore, bio bubble league is not going to happen because for the clubs it makes no sense. For the home club, whoever that is, it's an advantage. For the others, it's just a cost. Where the cost is going to grow rather be less. You say, okay, you want to spend less on travel, but overall doesn't work. I'm going to do podcasts in India. No, I'm in India for meetings. I don't know if I can, but let's see. How good was Wule besides the Chinese bias at Espanyol? Um, Simon, he was more than decent, right? Wule, Due, Yaji Shao, Sunji Hai, all good players. Jan Danda, Sean Hundal, Adrian Pereira, Andrew Lakshmikant. If Pereira really enjoys it, if we really care about it, if he interested, because we know he can't play for Brazil if Pereira have. Uh, X9P. Let's not bother about all those names. Apoy had in him to play the Finnish league, in my opinion. Yeah, but why would a Finnish club sign an Indian player? Think about it from another way. And do you think that Apuya would sign for a Finnish club? I don't know. Sir, I League was running before ISL. Also, this is what I League fans are saying. So even if ISL stops, I League will run. No. Poco, the problem with the I League is that the I League has been subsidized by Reliance for the last 15 years. And without that money, the I League can't run. The I League fans need to wake up to those realities. Tekcham will play CFL and IFA Shield, consequences of easy money. Looks like it, right? We can't bring 6, 7 OCI, but at least 2, 3 OCI players will be good. We already know AIFF doesn't have budget. We know AIFF would have to pay all 6 players, 7 players, all flight expenses, dual passport. X9P, if you're going too far. There is no dual passport. There is no, I don't know who's even put it out with the sports passport and all that kind of stuff, right? It's an idea that I had put forward to the government many years back. I haven't taken it and they're not taking it at this moment. 27, 28 ISL can happen. I don't even know if ISL will ever happen again. That's the first question we need to answer. Does the ISL exist in the future? After ISL 24-25 final, I commented here and you agreed that yes, there's an absolute 100% chance of ISL not happening next season. Akash, I've said this. I said this 2 years ago. If they don't sort out the things, Reliance will not start the league as long as you don't know what's going to happen for 2026. The problem is also the clubs are saying, listen, we will not play a league for the sake of playing a league, which is good, which is right. Most of the clubs are now saying we should have not even played the Super Cup to put more pressure on the AIFF. That is the reality where we're stuck in at this moment. That the clubs have done something where they now realize, right? So, yeah, let's see. First, talk about Asian Cup, and days are coming when winning SAF will be like qualifying Asian Cup. Let's see, XYB. Guys, have some self-respect and stop spamming with play for India, save India in the Insta comment boxes of origin players. It's ridiculous. Akash, 100% agree with you. It's ridiculous. Makes no sense. And yeah, what to say. The FIFA World Cup resale tickets on various websites are like US India flight fares, and that's just one ticket. Yeah, what's going to happen? I meant to say we are bidding for the under 17 Asian Cup 2021. It should be the senior men's Asian Cup. I know about the senior men's. I haven't heard about the under 17s. Are we bidding? I don't know because I thought the Saudis are hosting the next few editions because it's now a yearly affair. India is hosting Commonwealth Games and India cannot host AFC competition. Kindly explain how. Karma, because the AIFF is a mess at the moment. How can they host it? Even Commonwealth Games, right? Why are we hosting Commonwealth Games? Because no other country in the world wanted to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games. We're not hosting it because India is some great country and that's why they gave it to them. No, the Commonwealth Games committee sent an SOS earlier this year saying, hey, who wants to bid for 2030? You will get it. Right? Nigeria and India came forward. Nigeria then pulled out. And then India was left. That's why we're hosting it. In the AFC competitions, even if 2031 is an option for us in the men's, current realities, AFC will not say, you know? So if we had started YouTube channel from 16 years more, focus your oldest videos, 16-year-old, your subscriber will be at least 50K. X9P, you know what? I come from from a writing angle. I started IndianFootball.com in 1998, right? So in another 4 or 5 months, it will be 28 years ago that I started India's first ever football website. And yes, I should have in COVID, not 16 years ago, I should have, I've always posted only my highlight videos, when I did something for Times Now or for India Today or for Headlines Today or for Wyan or, some of my own reporting, whatever, blah, blah. I've never focused on the video part. This is something which I've now focused, I have to thank Akshata for that, Sports Khabri for that 2 years ago, to telling me, hey, you should be doing more video stuff. And then I started seriously of doing this channel. I had, I don't know what, 200, 198 or 200 followers. And now we're where we are. So yeah, let's wait and see. We have 50 to 60 clubs throughout the structure. They can focus on 200 or more districts, at least create a base to work forward. Ajoy, the point is not, again, 50, 60 or 200 or 500, 1,000. We've got many more clubs, right? The Kolkata football system itself, I think, has nearly 200 clubs. The Goa system, I think, will have 150, 170 clubs, I think. So the number of clubs is not your issue or your problem. The problem is the quality and what do we have, right? So therefore, for me, that's the more important thing, and that's where we are struggling, and we don't have a solution to that, right? To me, that's the that's where we need to think about and where we need to go. ISL is history after 9th of December. Simon, ISL at the moment looks like it is history since May this year. Right? If we like it or not, those are the realities, right? So for me, that's the point, right? And if you cover European football, it will be more than 100 to 200K. 9XP, as I said, I did yesterday. The World Cup. I would have done the FIFA World Cup draw anyway yesterday. So that was independent of what was happening or not happening in Indian football. But yes, it is something that I will have to do if again, what are we going to talk, right? In 2 weeks' time around Christmas, what are we going to talk about Indian football? It makes no sense. So yes, I will have to be more informed. I am informed anyway due to other work and all what's happening in European football. But so therefore that's the thing. Now, Odisha would be having the last laugh considering the situation. Simon, yes, Odisha FC took the right decision. RIP ISL after 9th December, that it. It is, as I said, since May. Nada, please spread my message to have some self-respect. Akash, if I say that, right, people will not take it and understand it. They think they know better. Dada, you need to hire a professional video editor. Akash, I'm not this. I do, I do for fun. So I'm not earning any money with this, right? I'm spending money on a light, on no AirPods, on this and that and everything. I'm fine with that. So this is not a commercial venture. If it turns out to be something of a commercial venture, why not? I wouldn't mind, right? But this is not about money. So therefore, I can't hire someone where I'm doing it all on my own, the little that I can do. And yeah, if it is more one day, who knows? I wouldn't mind. Yes, Indian fans are acting. So fools like in Yandanda comment section come to India, play for India, let them do whatever they are doing. Don't make India name shame. The problem is, if I tell Yandanda to come to India, what should he come to? I mean, what is there for Yandanda to come to India at the moment? Simple question. So you need to cover more as more Kela match. You will get so many subscribers. There are people so interested in football. Yeah, but X9P, uh, yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, could do, but again, as I say, I do this as fun. For me, this is fun, and if it becomes more, that would be great. On one side, on the other side, again, I've got enough other work to do, but um, I don't see I don't have the bandwidth really to have watch more matches. Again, I'm trying to watch Bundesliga on the side. Premier League is running there as well. So yeah. And you've got Indian accents, by Akash. My English can, I'm one of those people. I've studied English as well. My English adopts according to my either the person I'm talking to or the audience I am addressing. Dada, for me, other Asian country trying to play in FIFA, and we are happy to playing in SAF. So how do we can dream about FIFA or AFC competition hosting? It's just a daydream. RSK, sadly, yeah. And yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem. And I saw yesterday the first articles asking the question was, oh, why aren't we playing the World Cup? And I was like, oh God, are we back to that question? Because the draw is going to happen, and that's the sad part that people don't bother about Indian football for the rest of the year, but suddenly they come out and like, oh, every 4 years. Um, so therefore, it's tough, it's rough, and but we are where we are, and yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see where and how we progress. Every 10 years, NFL, I League, ISL, now new league. I guess Indian football goes on. Miss JCD Pagwara. Poco, I don't know if we're going to get a new league or not, but we didn't get a league every, yeah, sort of indirectly 10 years period, but let's see. Tomorrow is the final day for Indian football. Simon, it could be. We're heading to it, it seems like. There it is. Dada, can you take an interview with Arjun Raiki or Rajdeep Palit or Dylan and other mid-level Arjun players? Akash, I have spoken to some of them or speak to them once in a while. Most of them don't want to say anything, right? So, therefore, at the time when I did Shan Hundel's interview, right, a while back, the idea was actually to interview others as well. None of the others wanted to speak on the matter. So your knowledge of football, especially in football, doesn't match that level criteria. Thanks, Raj. I mean, again, it's my work, right? Football is my work. This is fun. What I'm doing with you. Again, I'm taking out time every day to do this, to produce something, and yeah, let's see. Again, if it grows, I'm very very happy. I thank you. Spread the word. Let more people join in our real, not some fake stuff that a lot of people are doing. But this is what I've done, what I try to do, and not easy, not easy. In these days, not easy to do it. But again, if Indian football, nothing much happens, then I guess, yeah, I'll have to do more of European football content in the coming weeks and months. If Kerala Blasters shut down, Kerala Blasters fans' heart will get broken. Their fans are so loyal and supportive that OTC, CHNS, etc. will get shut down. Yeah, X9P. Let's wait and see what happens. I started watching Indian football from my school days. Trevor Morgan, Tolge Osbe, Gurpreet Singh Sandhu in East Bengal, Barreto for Mohan Bagan, Jose Ramirez Barreto. Hope football will change after 2014, 10 years later, we will be top in Asia. Oja, I think a lot of people thought, I don't know if we thought that, Indian football could be top, but Indian football would be better. Thinking regular Asian Cup qualifiers, maybe reaching knockouts, quarterfinals. And the last 3 years, we have literally fallen down. Yeah. Yesterday in FIFA draw time, my heart is crying. I just think that when I see my country in draw, it is 2030 or even before I stop breathing. Listen, 2030 is not going to happen. RSK, look at our system at the moment. Look at where we stand. I don't see us. I mean, it would be a dream, but I don't see that happening. And our danger is who are we going to face? How we're going to face it? We'll have to grow up. Odisha FC, Chennai FC, Interkashi will survive, and I League Canvas is also Delhi Sporting. I don't think they will. And even the I League will not survive in the way it is at the moment. I think that certain teams will then pull the plug or say, listen, you know what? Let me focus on my youth teams. Let the settle system at the top settle itself, and then I might push back to the top level. I think that's what a lot of teams might do. It's sometimes about building a community, not always about professional content creation. Perhaps you will benefit from having a close knit community than a large spreading one. Simon, maybe it's also that once in a while I will, it's not happened that one of the bigger ones invite me and give me a platform, and then through that, boom, it grows up, right? There are certain content creators who have now followers in lakhs, but again, you know, maybe those conversations. Xavier posted a series of video of protests, but the boxes he himself support KC and one day have to take over league, and he's running kick out KC out. Raj, I've given up again. Got rid of Proful, put in a new. Got yeah. Kalyan was put in, supported league. There's that. Then Anwar Ali case. There's that. There are so many things. Sorry, this guy needs to be out of the system. Otherwise, it's not gonna move in its right way. It's pathetic that Chan talked about with you almost 2 years ago, but no one listened, neither fans. But suddenly, after 2 years, people are making noises. People don't appreciate real people like you. Thanks, Akash. But again, that's the problem, right? Um, and I've seen now that Akash video, sorry, that Chan interview has now been watched by by more people. But that's the reality, right? Quality content. Yeah, I like to make it. That's why don't I do too many interviews? Because I don't want to embarrass also people say, oh, a few hundred people have watched your interviews. It doesn't make sense. But yes, for growing the channel, unfortunately, Liverpool football would be the way to go. Simon, it is most probably the way I'll have to do it. 2038 to 42, ideally, X9P. With Indian football, don't link us to the World Cup. Do not link us for the World Cup at the moment. Our downfall started the day when we won SAF Championship. Yeah, and I predicted it, Raj. Watch my video the day after where I spoke. I was sitting in Bangalore at my cousin's place, spoke in detail. These are the realities. These are the problems. Nobody listened. World Cup talks need to be permanently banned from any conversation henceforth. I mean, for India. Simon, yeah, but yeah. What's your thoughts about Interkashi? Can they contribute in UP? Oja, I think that's the intention of the owners. But will it help? I don't know, because their problem is that they've invested a lot. The UP government hasn't still given them a stadium to play in. I think that's a big problem for them. For them, what they want to do, what they want to achieve, and that's a yeah. So these are realities, and therefore we'll have to see what happens. I honestly don't know what's going to happen. I League also not have future. Who will be our top tier league? I League ISL not happening. It's a shame the country of 1.4 billion. 9XP at the moment. I League 3 doesn't look like happening. Uh, I League 2, nobody knows. I League, nobody knows. And ISL, nobody knows. So yeah, that's where the AIFF stands today at this moment in time. We never will become a sporting country and a politician use sports as propaganda heavily. Simon, they do it. Cricket, no? They bank on cricket and they don't realize nobody cares about cricket outside of the four, five, six countries that they are, right? It is funny. The other day, a few weeks ago, we were talking about Italy not maybe qualifying for the football World Cup, but having qualified for the cricket World Cup. And then I asked um, a few Italian friends or Italian origin friends of mine, do you know that Italy is qualified for a cricket World Cup? I'm like, we play cricket? That was the reaction. So therefore, it's a diaspora sport. If you look at most of the countries, you'll see Indians, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, Sri Lankans, Aussies, or Englanders, South Africans, New Zealanders involved. After a long time, YouTube put your live stream feed. Any more OCI players looking to become Indian citizen play for India? Yazoo, no. Yes, Shan Hundal. But again, we don't have a league. So how can they come to India and play? Right? Good to see you again. I try and hold it every day. So guys, even if it doesn't show on YouTube, just check. I always post a little earlier than the lives that I'll be doing a live. So do check YouTube and and maybe there is no notification button on for this channel that whenever I put out something out. Virat Kohli still owns some stake of FC Goa 12%, but he doesn't appear to support FC Goa. Is it due to conflict of interest or does we say prohibited? Does trader? I have no idea if there is a anti-compete clause. I don't think so. He can do whatever he wants to, um, you know. And so therefore, yeah, I don't know why. And the irony is Scooter getting huge and getting. Yeah, Raj, that's the problem. That's why I say. That's why avoid it. Don't react. Don't watch. Every watch less means that will not take it somewhere else. Why was winning soft downfall? Yazoo, the downfall was because we were sold a fake dream. I remember I had a conversation after that match in the evening with Igor Stimac, and he goes, "Yeah, this is the start. We are gonna conquer Asia, this and blah blah." And I watched the two matches of the semi-final, final. Thought, you know what? You were quite lucky in that semi-final. Um, um, and we were against Lebanon and then against Kuwait. Um, so I don't, three tournaments win, okay, nice, but we weren't as good as Igor sold the whole world. If IFF can't reply to Shanun's email, do we think they can do something better for Indian football? Even government of India, even our clubs, is just disgusting as an Indian football fan. Yeah, RSK. Scooter is so bootleg. One day with Chennai, one day with Indian, one day with. Yeah, that's his problem. Need to focus on making to Asian Cup every time. Yes, Yazoo, but I think we need to focus on restructuring our system first. Scooters and one guy always mingle and poke his head into any serious discussion like the most unserious guy in that situation. Yes, UP CM promises they will make 18 football stadium. Let's see, one to three football stadium. Again, politicians and promises is always difficult, and Inter Kashi is your good um, example. Yeah, when India will play in World Cup, these fancy words comes in place every 4 years. Yeah, Raj, that's the problem. That's the problem to me. Sorry, let me have some water. That's the whole problem, in my opinion. And we are talking about this. Oh, you know what? We need to play a World Cup. We need to do this. We need to that. And why don't we play a World Cup? And a lot of people have a lot of solutions, which we don't. We don't. We don't have solutions to the problems, and that's the reality. The solutions are there. Sorry, let me phrase it differently. But for that, the right people need to be in the right positions. Otherwise, nothing will happen. Cricket game is so foolish. Out of 10 teams like South Africa, New Zealand, India, Pakistan, Australia will be winner. You always know the winner. I think we should go all out. Let's sort out our problems first, then start afresh from 25, 26 season. You mean 26, 27 season? Yeah. Ajay, I think so. I think we need to think about, do we sacrifice the 25, 26 season and try and build something in the 26, 27 season for the next 5 to 10 years? That might be the best way. Another, can 13 asset clubs run their own league without NOC from AIFF? No, they can't. They could. That would be a rebel league. But again, how do we sign in players and other things? Because that goes via the AIFF and FIFA system. Majority of fans have been messed up completely with the hype of Sean Williams, aggravated by the consistent misleading content. Yeah. Simon, a lot of people are making content and saying, oh, this has happened. I have contributed. This is like, guys, none of you have contributed anything to this. Right? I can claim that. I can claim that. I'm most probably the only content creator who claim, I've had some influence on this because I've been trying to do this for the last 24 years. That enables things to happen, right? So I know, right? But the others, it's engagement, right? That's the problem. And people engage with all of this. So yeah, just like the FIFA World Cup talks, this too needs to be banned. Simon, that's the other problem. Yeah, that's the those are our continued issues. And yeah, let's see how we can get out of them. If Pakistan get top tier league, game over for India. That it I have seen one Pakistan businessman who invested in PSL also thinking about top tier league in Pakistan for lose Pakistan. Ah, X9P. Forget thinking about Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. Thailand, Indonesia, whatever, Uzbekistan. Let's focus. You know, so yeah, let's wait and see. In my points of view, Naushad Musa is better tactical than Khalid Jamil. I think we can try him as an interim coach, and so we can see something different. It may be good for Indian football. No, RSK, he's a youth coach. He's better at youth level. Keep him at youth level. Don't pull him into the senior level. Yeah. Or now that this sports passport became viral because of 500 crore revenue promise duo, that one guy is out of position in AIFF. Kumar, I have not heard. Again, I indirectly speak with the government here and there, or with the sports ministry, and I've not never heard about any sports passport thing. It's an idea that I've put forward to them multiple times over the last 2+ decades, but there's nothing that has been spoken about it. So no. As I'm from UP, I'm thinking to file RTI regarding this 18 stadium promise. Let's see any response comes maybe in this month. I will file RTI. Let's see any response. X9P, do it and keep us updated if you get an answer on it or not, right? Because that would be interesting to figure out and find out if there is an answer to that question that you would pose. But because, yeah, it would be interesting to know if that's going to happen or not. So that's that. Right, over 1 hour 40 minutes. Quick reminder: if you haven't, like, share, and please subscribe to the channel. Let's grow together. Let's get more people involved in our conversations. Let's grow Arun Foot, the community. Thank you for being loyal to this. 20 likes on this video so far. Let other people maybe watch it. Don't have to be part of our live conversation. They can be, but you know, um, and of course, subscribe to the channel. We're at 3,522 as I speak to you. So thank you very much. And watch my short videos. Do support them. Do hype them. Do share them. Did something today on the ISL Club's letter. Yesterday, a review of the Super Cup semi-final. We'll do something tomorrow morning on a preview of the Super Cup final. Sports Ministry meeting was something. Also, especially I did earlier this week. That's why interviews. The TGIF documentary about Indian football, Traveler's Guide to Indian Football. Do watch that. Great what these guys, Johnson and Arjun, have done. About the meeting, the sports ministry, the Khalid Jami's press conference last weekend, and all that kind of stuff. A lot of stuff under 17s, blah, blah. Do watch it. And as always, thank you very much for your support. I'm just saying, every South Asian country rising, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, etc., India, regarding football. Yeah, X9P, that's a problem. You talk Sri Lanka, you talk Pakistan, don't forget Bangladesh. Look at Bangladesh men's and women's. We talk about playing and improving in various sports, yet struggle in two most competitive sports, basketball and football. Simon, yeah, you would say football and basketball, you could add, again, we're not even, volleyball might be an addition where, things, people are trying to do things with the Prime Volleyball League. Handball, we're not even there. A lot of problems. That's the reason why I'm traveling tomorrow. And yeah, there are other sports. Let's say if I see Wayne Gretzky yesterday, ice hockey non-starter. Yeah, let's see. Blessed Trader says X9P UP government is only showing dreams of Vision 2047 of making 80 football stadiums. Let's see. Your views on Capri Sports bidding for IWL and IPL2. Roshan, I find it interesting, but do they know what they would get themselves into at the moment with this current AIFF? Because I don't know if they have they have franchisees in different sports. They have franchisees in cricket, not only in India but abroad. So I'm not sure if they know what they would get themselves into by actually taking over these commercial rights. And again, will they really match it, or will they say, okay, you know what, I'm not going to pay you the 3 crores. I will want to pay you less. Might happen. I don't know. Could be. Let's wait and see what they do. Yes, the straight up promise can be fluke, but even 3 to 10 stadium made out of 18 stadium will be great. Yeah. X9P, you're going to 3 to 10. I would say if they can make 3 stadiums over the next 5 years, I would be happy. If they can make three football stadiums, and one already is in Kashi, right? So one stadium is being worked on. It's true when the world questions us on what has India achieved really in sports is a loophole, and we Indians always argue show cricket in this situation. Simon, nobody cares about cricket, right? It is, and this is something, again, how many of you, let's Wayne Gretzky yesterday, Canada's biggest sporting legend. an ice hockey legend with the LA Kings. How many of you would have known Wayne Gretzky? Yeah, it brings me back to when Maria Sharapova at Wimbledon was asked. She didn't know who um, Sachin Tendulkar was, and it raised a huge outcry in India. So these are some of the realities. So I don't know. I don't know where we stand, but to me, yeah. Therefore, um, let's see where we go with this at this moment in time. We can't do anything. What we can do, we can do. I can only find RTI regarding this 80s to that. Yeah, you can do that. Oh no, why this Kalyan job is shivering to change or amend the constitution clause related to ISL? Did Conservative wanted to be doing Supreme Court approach tactics? Kumar, I don't know why he's shivering. That's the first thing. Why do you think that Kalyan Chaub is shivering? Would be my first question to you. How do you know that he's shivering? Does he care? Doesn't he care? Um, that's a point. To me, he he's seems to be that he and his people, whoever are there, are not really pushing for changes. I think they want to sit it out. At the moment, to me, it looks like they want to sit out as long as they can. So therefore, if you think that they are shivering to change, they're not shivering. Are they bothered? I don't know. Sir, Sigra Stadium renovation inaugurated by PM 2025, maybe in few years, overground get renovated. Inter Kashi can be home ground Kashi. I, okay. Thanks, X9P. Again, Inter Kashi has a promise from the state government to do. I'm damn sure even a Bulgaria with all the gang wars and corruption still fares better than the AIFF. Where are the gang wars and corruption in Bulgaria, Simon? I don't know. I wouldn't know that. Maybe you know more than me. Roshan says William Trost Ekong retired from international football from Nigeria diaspora, but was leader on the pitch for Nigeria. If he would be Indian, he would have questioned and never played. Yeah, right. So Roshan, you will understand it. You're based here in Germany. You know what we sort of stand for here. With all our problems, it is terrible at the moment to watch Indian football, and it's shameful. But yeah, those are the realities. We talked about Bulgaria produced Berbatov and Stoichkov. Yeah, yeah, Berbatov, Stoichkov, and many others as well. Yeah, Kostadinov and all these guys come to mind. Kalyan Chaube, shameless, ISL, I League, I League 2, I League 3 League, National Women's Team Preparation. Yeah. X9P add IWL. Is IWL 2 going to happen? Indian Arrows Women shut down. And yeah. So therefore, um, so much. Preparations of under 20s women, under 20s, under 17s women, and under 17s boys is going to be a question, I know. Yes, I watched the HITC Sevens video on the downfall of Bulgarian football. Okay. Again, be careful, right? If you, okay, if you watch these extended documentaries, whoever, always have a critical thought if everything that they're saying is right or wrong, right? I remember I was in Bulgaria 10 years ago when Renedy joined for a couple of weeks, or no, actually for a month, CSK Sofia, and he was allowed to train with them, couldn't do a transfer. Sort of his wish was always he wanted to play abroad. And 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 even then there were problems with Bulgarian football. So if they say that now these are the problems why Bulgarian football is the way it is, 2015 what I saw, they already had, and that was still Berbatov was playing, and after they actually came to the ISL to play for the Blasters, the problems were there. So therefore I'm always very careful with all these so-called documentaries and all these huge channels, smaller or bigger, it doesn't matter. If anyone in Kalyan Chawla position, they would have resigned, but why is he so attached to his post in power? Ajay, I don't know if everybody that you're saying would have resigned in an Indian football context. I would question that if everybody would have resigned or not. I don't know. Saying national team women preparation for Asian Cup, shame. This is ideal chance of qualifying for World Cup. I think we will not win any Asian Cup. Saying this. seeing this kind of preparation. X9P, the chances of qualifying for the World Cup, uh, you know, um, therefore we are already you're already way ahead of yourself of qualifying for World Cup. I would have not talked about it earlier in looking at the preparations because it was clear to me when the AFF released that plan. Oh, we're going to do all of this in the preparations. It was clear to me they're not going to do it. It clear. So therefore, let's wait and see. Argentina meeting Portugal in quarterfinals is a big probability. Imagine the scenes. It has no big probabilities, broski. This is what you are thinking and saying. I've heard this now for the third time today. Uh, you know, uh, so cool down. And after that, did Supreme Court and give the permission to do a change in the AF constitution as per the AFF? There is no restrictions. Kumar, yes and no. They've said that, but also knowing the Indian judiciary, the AFF is going, and on that one, I agree. You should at the moment still check every move that you make because otherwise people will make cases against you either in the Supreme Court or in other courts. So therefore they're playing it safe. So from that is one perspective where I'd say I agree with them. I don't believe any of these politicians you paid, they had already constructed two cricket stadium last years and two more has been passed in their budget. Still no money for any new football stadium. That's it, trader. That is the problem. Cricket stadiums built like boom. I don't understand why Indian football fans compare European football or its structure with India. We have our own problems. People just don't understand that. Raj, very well said. Forget comparing to Europe. Forget comparing to even, let's say, North America. Parts of Asia, this, that, everything. We are. Again, sadly, we often are la land. Funny, every German opponent in World Cup group could have a Bundesliga link. Roshan, yeah, looks like it. Curacao, Ecuador, as well as Ivory Coast. Until and unless we play a game in newly constructed stadiums, we should not believe these politicians. Agree. That's a trader. Very, very true. If I was Casey, I would, in my pant, I would resign same day when India losing Singapore in 20 not qualifying for Asian Cup, all league not happening. Yeah, but again, X9P, that's not how a politician or a person in his position thinks. It's a great several question next time. Welcome, Simon. It is so much less competitive, in my opinion. Even the countries who are good enough usually also plays the FIFA World Cup in South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, etc. And even Indian origins for teams like UAE. Okay. You have so much corruption, 1,000 crore allocate to every sport. It goes to pockets of Babu's corrupt politician. Okay. Right. Slowly we will come to an end. 1 hour, 52 minutes. Once more reminder, if you haven't, like, share, and subscribe. Arunfoot here on YouTube. Visit one of the social media, visit arunfoot.com. And yeah, watch my short videos. 24 likes today. Thanks a lot. And yeah, watch my watch along from yesterday World Cup draw, which I found very interesting. Some interesting insights on that. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, watch the short videos and like, hype my videos as well so that the channel grows 3,522. Again, we're growing slowly, 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 but we are growing, and that's a good thing. I'm waiting for the day that Nageshwar Rao will come forward and apologize to the whole country is equally responsible for creating this mess. Never gonna happen. Raj, don't think so. Your opinion, yesterday's World Cup draw, people were complaining about a lot. Roshan, it happened the way I expected it, right? With Donald Trump being there, with with it happening in America. I mean, what did you, what did we expect? Honestly, it was the expected so-called circus, and yeah, it is the way it was, and um, it is sad, but that's the way it is. It was politics, it was show, um, and yeah, that's how it is. So therefore, we'll have to live with it. Good night, Simon. And now the did Bundesliga broadcast money to the German FA? Yeah, Kumar, they do. World Cup draw rigged? No, Raj, not rigged. The, even if you want to rig it, what's the point? Commonwealth 2013 India. Yeah, Aman, again, it's a big respectful thing for India to host the Commonwealth Games. Yes, but one has to be honest that no one else wanted to host it. It's not like, oh, you know what, we want to do it, this, that, everything. No, no one wants to host it. Therefore, India got a chance, and Take it, be humble, be happy, and yeah, that's the reality. Right, nearly 1 hour 55 minutes. Let me slowly think about coming to an end of this live watch along. Um, Again, you've got some more questions. Is it true that in India there's no broadcast of World Cup? Yes, Raj, at the moment, none of the channels want to pick it up. What is the role of SAI in Indian sports? They have the structure, government fund, playgrounds, presence in every state. What have they produced so far? Roger, they have theoretically, you will say everything, but it's a bureaucratic bubble thingy. And therefore, yeah, this Nobel Peace Prize itself is a big circus, only Peace Prize alone. Yeah, Kumar, it is. I hope India will not get to host the four Olympics. Let's see. I mean, at the moment, given realities of Indian sports, nobody is thinking of giving India anything of hosting, right? Um, India needs to sort out its mess across sports. This event, like CWC, Olympics, and other major events, nobody wants to host. It's a lost project. No, it has changed. If you look at Olympics, France just hosted it this year. The USA is hosting it 2028. Australia is hosting it. So there is Germany's going to bid for 2036. So there is an interest in it. Yes, it's in the short term, it's a loss-making venture. But again, the PR, the infrastructure, and future tourism, this, that, everything sort of makes sense. Right. So slowly now, again, once more reminder: like, share, and subscribe. Try to answer all your questions. Um, Let me see. Most probably the next 6 7 days looks difficult to do a live. Let me see if I can do one of them in the coming days. Flying to Delhi tomorrow and then onwards to Mumbai and then head back on Friday. So let me see when I can do a live. As I said, I'll be at the CII Scorecard 2025 Sports Summit on Tuesday and then on Wednesday um, at the Sports Bar Pro Leagues Forum. So let's see what happens in India. Let's see. And everyone says Olympics are loss-making project. Kumar, if you do it rightly, it is not. So therefore, that's the point. Therefore, I don't stick to everyone. Nature-wise, it's making effect, says Aman. All right, guys, thank you for everything. Like, share, and subscribe, as I said. Watch my short videos, and I'll be back and see you very, very soon. Bye.